recruiting.
Obviously become a major part of this. And just interested to get your thoughts on that.
Well, I mean, I don't think people really say it this way, but let's not make a mistake. I mean, we have free agency in college football, and the kids a lot of times go to where they're going to get paid the most. So no one else is saying that maybe, but, the kids say, this is what I'm getting here for NIL, and so what we really have, it is what it is. Free agency has been created in college football. I can go, except you can't lock people into a contract. They can go at any time. So it's a new world that we're in, and sometimes they want to come to you and say, I get this much money if I go there. So this is just a whole new thing to deal with.
So that's like, what do we think about that? I mean, have you ever heard a coach come out and say, kids are going where they get paid the most?
Well, it's all new. This is in the brave new world we're living in.
Oh, it's not new.
Well, I mean, it's not new, but it's never been out in the open like this before. I mean, back in the old days, it would have been like, okay, he's accusing a rival of cheating. Now he's not accusing anybody. He's saying the schools around us are putting together better NIL deals than we are.
Yeah, it was a call to action is what that was.
That's what that is. That's exactly correct, Michael.
They had a promising lead until emotions happened on Twitter, but there are going to be others that will help that. I've had a lot of people ask if that's happening here. I don't know as much about state as Haydad does, and somebody asked me this morning, is the one that had all the drama last night, is that the only one? And I said, currently, yes. Is it, though? No.
Right.
So that infrastructure is coming here. What you do like to see, though, is, honestly, this is going to sound crazy because it may impact Wednesday and beyond, at least in this cycle. I think you would rather it happen like this than it happen like Texas and the NCAA comes snooping around. That's just me. I would rather make sure you get it right than to get it out fast and have the NCAA snoop around. Florida's got a pretty good little platform out that I saw earlier today that stuff like that's going to happen here. It will happen here. People are working on it. I know that for a fact. But at least it's not you took it too far, you didn't know what you were doing, you didn't have the right people running it, and now guess who's calling? Maybe they're toothless, but they're annoying and they can do something to you. And that's the NCAA. So, I don't know. I know it's taken too long. I'm sure both Mike Leach and Lane Kiffin would rather that be going on right now, but I know people are working on it, and it's not going to be investigated like Texas, BYU, Miami, and so on.
Is anything going to happen to Texas, BYU, Miami, and so on?
Unlikely, but they have to deal with it. And, I mean, you saw what happens when – Mississippi State is currently on probation right now. Ole Miss just got done serving bowl bans and stuff like that. They can do something to you. We've seen it with our 6 eyes.
8.
Glasses for Haydad, yeah.
There you go.
Jason says, Kiffin turns my stomach as a state guy because he's right far too often, and he doesn't routinely put his foot in his mouth.
I mean, that's that's gonna be a recruiting pitch going forward. Is our boosters and our university have a solid NLI program in place that you'll be able to come in and legally make money off your name, image, and likeness. And our our rival doesn't have that. So
he did kind of compare free agent and college agency in college football to the NFL, and the differences. He says at least when you have free agent contracts, they know what it is and they've got to sign it. When you come here, you're going to get this much money. And when they get there, they really get it in their contract. So a very new world. You can just talk about what people have gotten from NIL here or there, but we can't direct that. And we're not going to sit here and make promises that you're going to come here and get that much money, because once you're signed and they're locked in to go there, they're not getting the money. We're kind of staying out of that world that other people are going into. I'm sure you guys have heard this. I don't think it's a big secret. In Arch Manning's recruitment, I've been told from multiple people that the biggest part of the pitch from Texas was this is what he will get in terms of NIL.
Yeah. Which
and
is
that
odd,
while Alabama
thing.
talked about championships, they also laid out the opportunities that would be there, and they were able to kind of point to what Bryce Young and others had gotten at Alabama.
Isn't that kind of an odd recruiting pitch for Arch Manning?
It is, but but yes, yeah. I mean, does his family does he come from a family that's well off and has multiple people that are incredibly successful? Sure, but that's not his money.
I mean, I get that, but it's not like he's ever wanted for anything.
No, I understand that, but I mean, hey, Dad, go back to being 16 or 17 years old, and somebody tells you that not your dad or your uncles or your grandfather is going to have a lot of money. But now you are going to have your own money, and it's going to be a check that has 2 commas in it. You're 16 or 17 years old, and yeah, my uncles have made a lot, and my dad's made a lot of money, and my grandfather's made a ton of money. But they're talking about me personally in my bank account having $1, $2, $3, $5, $7 million while I'm in college.
Texas is probably out of the Arch Manning sweepstakes now with Quinn Ewers coming in, right?
Yeah, that's an interesting layer.
Yeah.
Talk about NIL money,
the
too.
Texas ship had already sailed.
Well, I mean, you talk about NIL money, and you mentioned this earlier in the day when we were talking about, look how he gamed the system. Went to Ohio State, got their NIL money. Now he drops out, or he hits the portal, and he's going to Texas, which is what he was committed to do anyway before he decommitted and flipped to Ohio State. It's the same class. He didn't even lose anything. It's almost like it just played out as it was, but he made a ton of money up there in Columbus. Smart. That kid's smarter than any of us, I'll tell you that.
Borky laid out the timeline. Here it is. Quinn Ewers, who we're talking about. August 14th commits to Texas as part of the 2022 class, the class that's signing on Wednesday. October 28th, 2020, decommits from Texas. November 19th, 2020, commits to Ohio State. August 2nd, 2021, reclassifies into the 2021 class and reports and starts cashing in on NIL.